Okay, Ben here again, and hopefully we've got a nice clear picture for the review of Metroid Dread. As you know, I unboxed it 4 weeks ago and beat it in about 11 days. And there's been a lot of controversy online whether it's too difficult or you just have to get good. As you can see, I'm at 95% items. But we're going to go in here, we're going to continue, and be forewarned, this is going to contain some spoilers because I believe you have to beat a game in order to review it. And I have beaten the game. We said we're going to continue to pick up where we left off collecting items as it is at 95%. And yeah, that's the first thing you'll notice. There might be some loading times with this game, which I have no problems with because they're loading the entire area, and this game is big. Got the classic loading sound there, a little bit remixed. Okay, so here is the map for Arteria, and yeah, that is my first issue with the game. The map is a serious clusterfuck. It's really complex. They say you can't get lost. I did get a little lost. Some people more so than others. But I beat the game in just over 10 hours. Let's see here. So we're going to go to the global map, and you can see some of the different areas. And again, the maps are very complex. You got the elevator rooms colored in purple, the transport rooms. So that's good. You got the save stations and map locations located in yellow, network stations. So that's good. Enemy zones are green. Regular zones are gray, I guess. Blue is frozen zones. Red is hot zones. So you'll need appropriate suits to get through each area. And they mark item locations on your map, whether you've acquired them or whether you haven't. And yeah, so I mean the map is really freaking complex. If you hit the global map, you can see the colored icons here for teleportals, and I mean they help you traverse the area. Traversal is okay. There is a lot of back and forth. I think some of the items would be better in a different order. Of course, you got the water area here, and yeah, cyan for underwater. Okay, so that's good. But yeah, I mean, it's difficult to go from area to area until you unlock all the teleportals, and once you do, then you can map to anyone on the network, not just the same color. So that's a plus. Where do we go next? Let's I mean, look at the graphics. This is fantastic. People are going to complain that, are you not going to spark? Okay, come here. I need a counter. Okay, so yeah, countering is a very important part of both this and Samus Returns. It's okay. Some of the countering is easy. Some of it requires frame-perfect timing, and others have a delayed timing. The Emmys are very tight on their parrying mechanism, so I mean that could be better. I'm more into the shooting, so you can see we're using the analog stick and you can shoot in 360 degrees, especially if you hold the L button. That's very much like Samus Returns for the 3DS, which if you're playing that on the 3DS and you're controlling using that nub of an analog stick, movement in 2D is terrible. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how the Switch Joy-Cons are for movement, but I imagine they're still not as good as the Pro controller, which I'm holding right now. But yeah, the controls are fantastic, if overly complex. You have to hold R to shoot missiles, or yeah, press R to shoot missiles. But later on, as I already have the ability, unfortunately, you hold it too long and it becomes the what is it, spread shot missile or whatever it's called, and so that shoots 3 missiles at once. Yeah, so that's a controller on top of a controller. The R button is for grapple beam. And then if you want to aim any of those, then you're holding both shoulder buttons, 2 of the shoulder buttons. I don't know why they have an instant ball mode for the ZL button. That's a little bit weird to me. What does that do? There, yeah, X is the parry, B is the jump. But again, normally you just press down twice to go into a ball. I guess quick ball is okay, but I've never actually used it once. Okay, so we got A is one of the Aeon abilities, and they're mapped all over the controller, so that's a little bit frustrating. So you hold that, and then you can zoom twice in, well, as many times as you can until the power fades out. So, okay, we got that. Hope we don't run out of battery here. It's going on a bit long. What else? The R stick you have to hold in, and it becomes the cloak device, which I think I used twice to escape enemies. It's not really necessary, but it does help before you get a certain suit to be able to move freely to escape a certain enemy. So that was really annoying. They're kind of forgiving with the checkpoints. If you die to an enemy, they'll put you right outside the door, which is good. But then you hold the... What? Come on. Okay, you hold the right button on the D-pad and you can scan the area, look for hidden items or passageways or breakable blocks, stuff like that. That is just like Samus Returns. Mercury Steam made both of them and they did a good job, but honestly, I don't remember the last time Nintendo actually made a Metroid game. It may have been, I don't know about Federation Force, but it may have been all the way back on Zero Mission. As you know, Prime was developed by Retro Studios, not Nintendo R&D themselves. This was developed by Mercury Steam, again, not Nintendo R&D. And, yeah, what was the other M was developed by Bandai Namco, so... I mean, I don't think Nintendo has touched a game in the series since Zero Mission. But anyway, or even if they did that one, I'm not sure. Could have been Fusion before that. Anyway, the controls are really good. They're really tight. They are really complex. Again, start button goes to the map. Select goes to this very, very pathetic options screen where you can adjust the brightness, turn the rumble on, call up amiibos if you have them. And system goes to controls, which are not remappable. You just, it just tells you what they do. Expand minimap, that's true. So the D-pad does 2 things. But moving in 2D environments with a stick, it's okay, but a D-pad would be much better. And especially if you're doing, let's see if we can't get a shine spark going here. Okay, if you're doing that, you need to run and press down when you're at full speed to go into a shine spark to get through certain breakable blocks. And that and the puzzles they made really, honestly, do not work well with a control stick. The D-pad in Super, the D-pad in Zero Mission, the D-pad in Fusion, those all worked well because they were using the D-pad. The stick is just not the best for that. Okay, so those are the controls and the map. Let's move on to the difficulty. People are saying it's difficult, and yes, this is very difficult. I have played every Metroid game, tons of Castlevanias, tons of other games, and I don't think this is very beginner friendly. And it's more than get good. As I said, the countering system, it's not just you see the flash, you hit the button. No, you need the right timing. Some of the enemies are delayed in the countering. Some of them bum rush you and like require instant reflexes. So countering is not an exact science, unlike what some people will lead you to believe. Some of the bosses are difficult at first. I find them, if you learn the patterns, then it's pretty easy to get through them. I mean, I died a fair share of times, but even on the first boss, and no, I didn't really watch the previews and trailers and stuff, the treehouse. I wanted to go in with no knowledge, and that's what I did. But I was still able to figure that out. I don't think I died on the first boss once. But yeah, some of the later bosses I did, and some of them are just brutal. Not once did I actually remove a shield or counter an attack on some of the robots. But through splash damage and regular shooting, I was able to get the job done, just avoid their attacks. So, you know, there's many ways to play the game, and that's good. What do they talk about? The music. I had no complaints with the music. It's very atmospheric. I love the ambiance. Go into an enemy zone here. Can't get through there. And I mean, yeah, this isn't real music right now, but it does create a great atmosphere. You can see I've already got the screw attack. I mean, like I said, this is a fairly complete file. And there's been some complaints about the rooms looking the same here. I mean, enemy rooms are cybernetic. That's what they're gonna do. This is a cybernetic horror game. And exploration. So, again, I have no complaints with that. Again, the difficulty is, it's a lot to ask, especially on the final boss. And some of the item progression, I also mentioned that earlier, is incorrect. You do a sequence break, and I picked up 3 power bombs before I was even able to use them. And that is very frustrating. Super Metroid, as soon as you get any power bomb, boom, you can use it. So I should have been able to do that in this game, and that would have made my playthrough a lot more enjoyable. So yeah, those were the only, I guess technically, sequence breaks I was able to find in my first playthrough, although it wouldn't let me use them, so I wasn't able to break it. There are other sequence breaks you can find online, and I have found through exploration, and I intend to use them on future playthroughs. But yeah, no, again, the game is difficult, but it's good. Compared to Super, is it as good as Super? I don't know. Is it better made than Super? Of course, it's 2021. The graphics should look better. The controls should play better. Unfortunately, there are no cinematics I can go to without going to the final boss, and I'm not going to spoil that. But when you start a counter sequence against a boss, the in-game engine will actually do that semi-cutscene, semi-gameplay, which is really just button mashing shots or missiles, but like that is a seamless transition. So this is an excellent game. It's well crafted, aside from the maps, which are just a complete mess in my opinion. And as you progress later on, some of the puzzles are just overly complex. You're supposed to break this block here, and you're supposed to carry a shine spark all the way through there. And this is now just for the 100%ers, but so your options are to either run this way, somehow maintain it through this bomb, loop around, and break through the wall. Or, I've seen people run all the way across here, use these ramps to sort of maintain their speed, get all the way through here and then go left. And that is asking a hell of a lot from the player. Another nonsense puzzle here in Ferenia is here. And I guess you can build up, but you're supposed to get through beam blocks, stop here, bomb, and then shoot up vertically. And yeah, so some of these puzzles seem like they're more designed for Samus Returns, where you could use the spider ball and use the power bomb to shoot off in a certain direction, the way you were facing. And that was how those puzzles were solved. I think that's how some of these were designed to be solved. And yeah. But okay, so again, we're at 85%. I know where one of the items are. There's supposed to be flashing white rooms, or just flashing rooms that tell you where there's a hidden item that you're missing. But yeah, I guess if it's supposed to be a fairly obvious one that you just passed that you couldn't get, sometimes they're not labeled, or I can't find it, or what. So acquired. See. So yeah, that's why I'm stuck on 95%. Again, that's probably my problem. Partly overly complex puzzle design, and you know. Anyway, the game still is great, if overly difficult. I don't know if it's the best place to start if you want to start off the Metroid series. There's no easy mode. What else was difficult? Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. That was very difficult. It was so difficult they even put an easy mode into the Wii remake with the Wiimote controls. So, you know, not every game has to be super difficult. Not every game has to be super easy. Not every game has to be super cinematic. This is not. Is it worth $60? Hell yes, this is worth $60. And if you even have to question that, are you a gamer? Do you even know the situation? They put a lot of time and effort into a quality product here. And it was worth every yen I paid and every dollar you paid or intend to pay. Or if not, just try the demo. They put a demo out a couple weeks after the fact, which is a bit strange. I think they should have put that out before street dates, so people could make the decision if they wanted to buy it or not. But that is what it is, and Nintendo's gonna Nintendo. But yeah, again, this is definitely one of my favorite games of the year. Does it make Game of the Year? We'll have to. We've got 2 more months to play games and find out. But those were my thoughts and opinions on Metroid Dread. An excellent game. It's not perfect. But then again, no game is. And, yeah. So, and I am very, very, very glad that Ridley is not in this game. Oh, and one last thing before I go. When you complete Fusion, it will tell you how many items are remaining in each area of the map. And this does not do that. The only thing is remaining Emmy. But, yeah, that's one more thing that would have made this just a slightly better game. But, again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed my honest opinion on this. And until next time, have a good one.